This is my 55. I've been working on it for 15 years, and on and off. And I bought it completely apart, and everything was dismantled. Very, very difficult car to do. Very difficult car to do. And I've talked to other guys that have done them, and they're just a nightmare. They're very few. They're hard to get information for. 53s and 4s, you can get all the information you want because they're you know. 54s are a dime a dozen. 1955, they came out. They had 2,700 54s left over on the dealers' lots that they couldn't sell. Nobody wanted a two-speed dog power glide 6-cylinder Corvette.
The goal was to introduce the car by selling it to
Movie stars.
Influential people. You know, politicians, presidents of Standard Oil, you know, movie stars, people that would really make this car the want of all us commoners. Well, by mid-54, they had satisfied all the opinion leaders, and by the end of the year, they had half of the production was still available for sale. And so Chevrolet decided that they weren't going to start producing the 55 version until they had eliminated this backlog of unsold 54s. And so normally you would start up the production year sometime in August or September. They didn't start building 55s until January of 1955 and built roughly 50 cars a month for the rest of the year. So the production was very low, like 700 cars.
So Duntov wrote a letter to Chevrolet because they were going to quit making a Corvette and convinced them to stay on, and the introduction of the T-Bird in 55 made Chevrolet stick with the car. Even though they came out with a two-speed power glide with the V8, which did help a lot, the three-speed and later 56s, the four-speeds really made much more headway. I bought it from a friend of mine. My brother-in-law knew this guy that had it in his garage, and it was all the parts were just sitting in his garage, and he just sandblasted everything and just let it sit. So everything was just all rusted, surface rusted and all that. So I had to take everything and re-blast everything, and the frame was all modified. They made hot rods out of them, and they put like a power glide plate in there. So I had to cut that all out and actually reset it up back to stock and make new weldments in the frame. I just ground the center section out where the frame was distorted, and I had to put the holes in it from the exhaust pipes and all that back in there. Just fabricate it back to stock. So then I just, like I said, I just reset that up, and I sandblasted and I epoxy primered it and we're on it. So
was the body off when you started?
Oh, absolutely. There was just pieces. I mean, there was nothing on the car at all. You know, the body was, I had to actually blast on a quarter panel, so one of the fins was just shaved right off, so I had to put a new quarter on it. And the floor sections were gone inside the car and out in the trunk area. So I had to redo that. And the left side inner fender well where the battery sits, I had to enlarge that because it was all chopped up in there. Then I started working on the body. I had to strip the whole body down and do the fiberglass work, put the quarter on some of the floors and stuff like that. And I had to sand it and I had to gel coat it. And the gel coated stuff is really kind of strange to work with. It hardens up real fast. Then I just epoxy primered it and I painted it while it was on the dolly. I painted it with a single stage DBU. It's a PPG paint. It's single stage. It's not nitrocellulose lacquer. But, yeah, it came with no engine and transmission, and I went out and got it, and I had Denny Hummel at Booth and Aaron's. He rebuilt the motor, and a friend of mine did the transmission. I stuck it in there, and I think about 10 years ago, my old house started up, ran it 20 minutes, shut it off, ain't run it since.
You found an engine and transmission that was appropriate for the car,
exactly. Right.
Not
That's what
to be misunderstood as having been original to the car.
It's not original to the car. Yeah, I want to finish up wiring up the gauges, and like I said, I took the front shroud back apart because I wanted to secure that pulley, but then I found out maybe I don't have to. Because it's most expensive stuff because it's only 1 year only. Air filter is $1,500 and it was a throwaway item.
This is one of the most challenging cars to do.
It is.
I mean, everything is.
If I would have known before when I got it,
the transmissions used in 53 and 4 are different than what's in 55. The hood is unique to this car.
Yeah, but the original one was a cross piece for 53 and 4. 55 had a bar cross.
You made that car?
Yeah.
So
Out
just
of a 54 hood. First came out, they would come straight out here. You come straight out these exhaust extensions. And then I guess in the 54, they're a little bit different.
But these are really a challenge to find parts for, if it, you know, the mount for the transmission unique to that car. You know, it's not just the average power glide that you use, it's an iron glide with a different shift pattern.
Yeah.
And it, but still way
heavy
more
as
common
hell.
than one, and the transmission weighs about the same as the engine.
It's heavy. I mean, I had a hernia.
Wow.
I had a hernia.
What parts are you missing right now that you know about?
Well, I need the correct, the gas pedal arm that mounts on the firewall. And I got a guy call me out from Iowa that had one, and he just said it to me, he didn't want no money, he just told us that, he says, this is the closest thing I got, and it's still not correct. And I need the correct nut for the antenna, depending on your body color.
Yeah, it is.
Depending on your body color, the stitching comes, you know, depending on body color. And them seats are not like normal seats to do, you know. The way they're set up, just like an old sofa. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this year or next year, I'll have it all together.